The opinions and views expressed by individuals during this broadcast are their own. It may not be opinions of the network, their group, their organizations they may be involved with.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly. They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow. And if you want cup power fill, they call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday, friends. Again, we did it. We made it. Another week. Yay. Kudos to us. We did it. We did it. Yay. Another week. Another whole week. I had a good week. It was very exciting. I got to showcase my art at the Raw Natural Born Artists show on Friday. So part of Raw Canada. It was super exciting. It was so magical, first of all, to see so many artists under one roof. Just seeing everyone having all of the, same feels and the same vibes and all kind of, indirectly working towards the same goal. So it was pretty amazing. Everyone has a message to share, and it's just amazing to see how many people work through their artwork and get, to that higher state within themselves through creating artwork. I do notice a lot of insecurities within artists, still even artists that are presenting. I want to work on figuring out ways to change that and just rising everybody up. It's kind of the purpose behind the whole teacups. My whole teacup display, that we all have broken parts. We all have things that happen. We all have traumas or, earth-shattering things that happen, that come about in our lives. And so just really learning how to deal with those, and really learning how to just kind of hang on for the ride. That's the key, for sure. But it's a journey, and it can be a magical, beautiful journey. So just really getting into that frame, that mindset frame of enjoying the journey, can use different metaphors, but sometimes it's like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're scared shitless. Sometimes you feel like you want to puke. Sometimes you wish you never got on the ride. But at the end, it kind of pays off, right? Having that adrenaline rush, that, that thrill, that exhilaration. It pays off, right? It's worth it. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? Thank you so much for joining. So glad to have you. Rocking my new Knock Network sweater here. Pretty stoked. So yeah, and it's winter again out there, so hoodie material it is, hoodie weather it is. I'm down for that. So I don't mind good hoodie weather. It's all good sometimes. So me and my hoodies, just climb in and enjoy. It's been it was it was a very great week. There was a lot of work. I forgot how much work it was. Like I always seem to forget how much work it is. And yeah, just I learned so much. Let's just say that. I learned so much. I learned so much about presentation. I learned so much about stubbornness. I learned so much. I learned a lot. Like, I learned a lot. And it was pretty magical. It's pretty magical when you can take an experience and take some of the and then, you know, just reap the rewards. So I just keep constantly telling myself that, you know, we're working towards the bigger picture, that there's magic within, and we just need to tap into that magic. So, and it's working. It's paying off. It's just feeling that heart and brain connect, and really getting into that space and being connected with that heart and that brain heart cohesion, coherence, and just connecting, and really just taking time to be present and being aware of ourselves, being aware of our bodies. This is, I don't know how to stress it more, but pay attention to your bodies. If your body's saying something to you, if your body is lighting up with pain, with irritation, with problems, with something, like if your body's flaring up, there's a reason, and you need to listen, because we know this magical meat sack that we get to encounter for this spiritual experience is pretty phenomenal. It's pretty magical. It has some pretty it's just magic. Like, we have these bodies that are able to heal themselves, and they're able to do all these magical things, and we so underestimate what they can do. And so just listen, pay attention, listen, hear, feel, and your body's going to tell you. Your body's going to tell you what you need, and your body's going to tell you what you don't need. It's just a matter of listening. It's just a matter of paying attention to what it's saying. I've been having some nerve impingements, posture from doing too much. I'm not going to lie, rolling so many damn mushroom bags. Oh, it just hurts thinking of it. So I've been trying to work out. I've been trying to work out some things, and some things that I'm holding on to. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And I was sitting with it, and I was in the bathtub, and I asked my body to show me. I was convinced that it was a spot in the back of my shoulder, and I've been working on it, and I seem to be not getting the results that I should be getting. And so I just asked my body, just to show me, just to light up to where that impingement is coming from, just to light up and to show me those restrictions, and to show me where that is, and being open to those feelings, being open to those answers, and having space within us and within our hearts to be open to those answers. And it was pretty amazing, because my entire nerve path lit up, and it lit up in exactly where it needed to, and what I needed to see, and what I needed to feel, so that I was able to go in and do some work, and do some releases, and get in and do some trigger point releases, and break up some fascia, and just kind of get in there and do some good old muscle manipulation and break that up. Because, it's all about the fascia. If you're familiar with fascia, so I'm trained in registered massage therapy, went to a registered massage therapy school. The fascia, I like to call it, it's basically the saran wrap of the body. It wraps every organ, tissue, fiber, muscle, like everything. It provides this lubricant. It provides this when you're cutting a steak, or if you've ever if you're hunting or anything like that, it's that white layer. And often when we have muscle impingements, when we have restrictions, we have posture, repetitive strain syndrome, our bodies are pretty amazing. So I'm going to take it back to the shoulder. And so we have muscles, right? I'll just drop my fairy cards. We have muscles that attach. The rhomboids, and they attach from our spine to our shoulder blade. And because we live in a society where we're working from phones, we're typing, we're doing things. I'm doing art. I'm in this zone. I'm painting. I'm drawing. I've actually closed this off, and I can cause impingements. Thoracic outlet syndrome is what they'll call it, and it can cause your digits to go numb and tingly, and you can feel that impingement. So just with repetitive strain, with continuously doing this muscle is supposed to be this big. But because my shoulder blade is like this, and because the human body's awesome, and it's not just going to let my shoulder blade fall off, it goes in and it lays down cells, and it builds up that fascia, and it makes it stronger, and it lays down cells, and it lays down tissues. So I like to, me and my analogies, I like to picture it like a tent. So if you were camping and you had damage to your tent, you want to picture the fibers. So if that tent, has strain, and it's ripping and it's pulling, you can see through it. You're not going to go in to repair it. You're not going to go in and follow each square and each little stitch. You're going to go in, you're going to spider web it up, because that's a weak spot. And so you have to build that up. So you're just going to keep sewing and sewing, and you're going to build this mass, this spider web like mass that's going to, connect in there, because that muscle thinks that it needs to be stronger. It needs to be bigger. It needs to lay down more tissues and more cells. So because it can't stretch, the muscle's supposed to be this big. And so it has to have a stretch from point A to point B. And because we have elongated muscles, that muscle physically can't stretch from point A to point B. So in this weak spot, it causes this muscle knot and this gnarly. And now we have a stretch point from point A to point B being the knot, and from point B to point C being origin or insertion. And that way that muscle's still going to, it's not, like I said, it's not going to let your shoulder fall off. It's not going to. And often we do a lot of work. We'll do a lot of chest work, a lot of stretch. And what we need to do is we need to stretch this area out and open this area and strengthen the back. Once we strengthen those muscles up, those weak muscles, they're going to become stronger. But then we also need that muscle manipulation to actually get in and break up that old fascia, break that up, because of those fascial connections. And because of that fascia, and because it's everywhere, it's how you can blow out your right hip, but your left shoulder starts hurting, and your foot starts hurting, and good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. That's what they refer to as a fascial train. So that can actually carry through. So that's why it's really important to actually get in and have muscle manipulation and break things up and stretch and break that fascia up. And it's funny, because a lot of the things that we were taught with muscle training, to build muscle and how to beef yourself up and build big muscles, really didn't compensate for our posture or fascial restrictions, and things like that. So it can cause a lot of issues down the road. So yeah, I was pretty frustrated last night, and I was just, I'm done. I'm sick of this. I grabbed the massager and I was like, I am breaking this up, and I am something I would do to myself. I've never done to a client, and I never would do to a client. But I did. I have caused bruising, but not to this. But you can see it's pretty inflamed. And there's going to be some good color there from that. So yeah, a little tender today. So I'm going to take some time. I'm going to put some ice on it. I'm going to help relieve some of that fascial restriction, relieve that. Been applying the cannabis creams, been applying my anti-inflammatory topical cream that Janine and I kind of collab made together, adding my Minty Magic into it to really help that inflammatory aspect of it. So hopefully that's really going to work and come down. And so today I'm taking care. Again, it's been a slow week. I had a lot of prep coming up to the show, and I forget, like I always forget, how much energy it really takes to pouring into the meanings behind my artwork, and to how I felt, and to the connections that makes with people. My soul was lit up Friday night. The fact that I got to connect with so many people, the fact that so many people got to feel the message that was intended for the artwork, the message that I poured into the artwork. And again, it's not about validation. I don't need to know if I'm a good artist or not. I don't need a pat on the back in that aspect. It's this. I put so much of this into my art that when I come to a table and I was standing at the edge of my table talking to someone, and kind of as I turned around, I caught a couple of people feeling some big feels and some big emotions. And I know that I was able to say some words through expressing my artwork that really hit home, that really shows people that we all have issues. We all go through things. We all suffer from some form of trauma in our lifetimes. We all continue to do it. And we're all different. We all have different healing journeys, and we all have different healing paths, and we all have different goals. We aren't all going to make it to the same spot at the same time, because that's not our desires. I often say to people, I say to clients that, it's funny that my nationality, my skin color, my feet size, it's not the same as yours. And it's evident in certain situations, right? But it's so funny that we automatically assume that people's brains should be the same. And I remember studying, neurology when I was in massage school, studying anatomy and physiology, and deep into the neurology and deep into the brain, and, studying. And holy fuck, was it a lot. And I'm not going to lie, like just the cranial nerves and it was crazy. But getting into just studying neurology and looking at the human brain and how our brain forms and what areas do different things, I have the epiphany that, like, wow, my skull is not the same shape as yours. Your head is not the same shape as my head. We've all made the jokes of I could never shave my head. My hair's too lumpy. My forehead's too big. This is too that. Whatever's too whatever. And that's because we literally have different shaped skulls. So why wouldn't we have different shaped brains? Why wouldn't we have different thought processes. Why wouldn't? And so really just coming back to that. And, Dr. Joe Dispenza says it great. Like, our personal reality becomes our personality. And if it's not within our realm, if it's not within our scope, if it's not something that we deal with on a regular basis, unless we actually take that time to pull back, to assess the situation, to really try and empathize, to really try and put yourself in that situation and really understand. And then we still can't even fully understand, because that's someone else's reality and that's someone else's personal reality. So yeah, it's just so amazing that I see so much of this and so much sides, and will he and will she and will this and will that, and man, you can't do this and you have to do this, and will I do this, and will I, and it's just, yeah. And I'm guilty. I am human. I am not perfect. Never claim to be perfect. I make mistakes on the regular. So please don't think this is coming from a preaching standpoint. It's really coming from an awareness standpoint. And I've really been working these past 2 years on connecting this to this. And I'm not going to lie, it's been a challenge. Love you. The comment on Instagram says, great listen this morning, Mellow. Thank you. Much love, Aunt Wendy. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help. I've had so many epiphanies, so many magical, crazy, wild, sad moments as I have leaned into this whole journey of building cups and putting cups back together. And it hasn't been easy. And sometimes it hasn't been fun. I realize that I am responsible for breaking people's cups, other people's cups. I'm not responsible for breaking their cups, but I'm responsible for adding that pressure that caused that crack. I am responsible for cracking my own cup. I am responsible, and actually working on this piece now. I'm responsible for putting holes in my own cup. I put holes in my cup and I let the shit leak all out. And then I'm like, what's going on? I don't understand what's happening. My cup's never full. And it's because I drilled holes in it. I literally poked holes in my own cup, and I watched all my flow and all my mojo and all my magic just run all over the place. And then I was in this, I like to use analogies a lot. It works for me. So it just, it's just, so on that note, I have some write-ups, so I'm going to share them with you. The myth of pouring from an empty cup is a powerful message to help viewers mend their broken cups and achieve an overflowing state of blessings. And then my bitch, your cup is broken. It's an impactful art piece that visualizes a powerful message about self-care and the importance of acknowledging the root cause of our struggles. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to focus on external factors in an effort to feel better and fill our own cups. But the truth is that often our own trauma and our own experiences are what have caused the cups to break. My personal journey serves as a testament to this message. After suffering seizures from being diagnosed with lupus and then falling into a deep depression as I fought the healthcare system, I took a step back from negativity and I focused on creativity and positivity as a way of healing. I soon realized that my cup was indeed broken, fractured, broken, maybe shattered in some pieces, and that it was time for me to sit with that and really try and piece that cup back together. And through that process, I discovered that the cracks in my cup were there to let the light in, and that taking the time to heal and understand oneself is a magical and transformative journey. I want to share this message with the world and encourage others to embrace their own healing journey. Bitch, your cup is broken serves as a reminder that self-care is not just about filling our cups with external factors, but about taking the time to acknowledge and heal the internal ones. So that pressure within inside the cup, if we use the cup as the metaphor, it's the pressure inside that cup, I feel, that cracks it. There's external forces, there's trauma, there's all kinds of things, absolutely. But sometimes it's that pressure within that cup that just, it breaks it ourselves. So yeah, by embracing our cracks and allowing the light in, we can start to rebuild our foundation and find peace and healing within. And that serves as a great reminder, because sometimes when our cups break, we lose pieces. And maybe we keep all of those pieces. Maybe we hold on to those. We cling to those broken pieces toxically, like they're our lifeline. And because that's defined who we are, and that's what made us who we are today. And we hold on to those pieces. And as we take the time to start to build that cup back, we're like, fuck, I don't even need that piece. I literally don't even need that piece. Like, cool. And often we can get caught up in that mentality that, like, oh my God, my cup's smaller now. I'm missing a piece and I'm missing. But it's not. It's really, we have to let what no longer serves us, no longer serves this and this, we have to let that go so that we can allow things in that do serve that connection, right? So I then have life is a balancing act. My trauma cup. I realize here I'm missing a piece, but my trauma cup, I put the trauma cup back together with black resin and black resin drips. And so when you look at the cup, when we focus on those labels, when we focus on the traumas, when we focus on the shit that happened in our lives, when we focus on healing with labels, it's really easy to lose sight of those cracks in the light that comes in. And we focus on the labels, and it can look ugly and it can look nasty, and we can focus on all of that. But I've used color changing resin. So when it's met with love and compassion, and when you warm it up and when you heat it up, it goes to a whitish, clearish color, and you can really see the cracks. You can then really see the beauty. It takes the ugliness away from that. So really, embracing that and embracing the fact that every single one of us has had a cup broken. And anyone that tells you they don't, they're lying. And the saddest part is they're lying to themselves, not just you. They're lying to everyone, including themselves. And then I repaired a cup, and I built a section of the cups with resin and pills. And I use the pills to signify addiction. So the addiction cup serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers of relying on addictions to fix our broken cups. This stunning display features a cup beautifully repaired with resin and pills, serving as a striking visual representation of the vicious cycle of addiction. As we go about our daily lives, we often find ourselves chasing after dopamine and cortisol highs, seeking temporary relief from our pain and our struggles. But the truth is, relying on addictions to fill our cups can only lead to further damage and devastation. Through this mesmerizing art piece, we are encouraged to take a step back and reflect on our choice and behaviors. We are reminded that we cannot fix our broken cups with addictions, and that the true healing and growth can only come from within. Let us not fall victim to the trap of addiction, but instead let us work towards building a strong foundation of self-love, resilience, and inner strength. And that comes back to that broken cup. We all have those broken bits. We have those broken bits that have hurt others. We've hurt ourselves. They've cut so deep, so deep. And even when we think that we're doing good, even when we think that we have some of those pieces healed. Some of those shards come back out again and they slice. And we have to just be aware. We have to pull back and be aware that it happens and it's okay. It's time to tend to the wounds. It's time to really see do we need that piece? Did that piece of the cup serve us? Did that piece that's continuously cutting us, No, it probably didn't. So, and then, life is a balancing act, but it doesn't have to be a delicate one. It's the art of balance, featuring an elevated teacup pouring resin onto a matching plate. The sculpture showcases the delicate balance we must maintain in our daily lives. The teacup is suspended, forcing the plate to balance, symbolizing the beauty in the act of pouring from our cup while maintaining our own balance. The concept of life being a balancing act is one that many of us can relate to, whether it's balancing our personal and professional lives or finding balance within ourselves. Life can be a delicate dance. However, as the structure sculpts, it doesn't have to be broken delicate. It doesn't have to be fragile delicate. It doesn't have to. We can understand and get that balance and get that flow and get that harmony within, and everything is just, it's going to fit into that. And it doesn't mean your life's going to be perfect. It doesn't mean it's going to be magic and rainbows and unicorns. It doesn't. It just means you're going to have a new perspective for it. It just means you're going to be able to take new learning points from it and learn new aspects and new things and see new aspects, new epiphanies, new realizations, new thoughts, new ways of life. And it can be magic. Embrace it and really understand that letting go of old beliefs and old patterns and old thoughts and old ways that don't serve us any longer. They no longer work. Letting go of that allows for that light to come in. And it's, so we can get there. That's magic. In my eyes, that's magic. So on that note, I have rambled on. We are going to go to a quick commercial.
Green Irene's transformative health and wellness coaching. Hypnosis, NLP, and cannabis strategies to help you. Retrain your brain and create the change that crafts a brighter tomorrow. If you're tired of battling behaviors and bad habits, or sick and tired of being sick and tired, or poor habits, schedule a call and discover how I can help you using hypnotherapy, NLP, and cannabis strategies. Go to www.greenirene.ca and book a call today.
Open your eyes.
Join us on Psychedelic Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Open Your Eye, our 90-minute video podcast with hosts Kim Cooper and Tara Simpson. Join hosts sit down with patients, facilitators, lawyers, and others in the space to discuss their experiences and endeavors working with psychedelic medicine. Tune in weekly to Open Your Eye at 8 p.m. Eastern for all your news and information from the realm of psychedelic medicine. Here on Knock Network.
Hello everybody, it's Waylon the Indoor Farmer here. Come and check us out Monday nights at 8:30 Central Time on the NOK Network. You'll find your host, myself, and my good friend Sir Steve-O on a journey to find out what it takes to become more self-sustainable. We'll inspire you with a weekly progress review. Like, follow, and share. Put it away for 30 minutes a day on IWK. The IWK 710 Daily Sesh is a virtual gathering where consumers meet up or a toke and some laughs at 7 p.m. Eastern nightly. Originally aired on Info with Kim's social media page, the IWK 710 Daily Sesh is now also podcasted on NOK Network. Rotating joint hosts bring you a variety of content during this 30-minute virtual smoke sesh. Take a break from the stresses in life and put it away for 30 minutes a day on IWK. Podcasted nightly at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NOK Network.
Vibe out to the tunes. So super cute. I do a pull from my fairy deck. So the Fairy Wisdom Oracle deck. And absolutely love this. I pulled the Human Myth. Number 63. The Human Myth. Keyword is connection. The Dragon Fairy is reading about the human myth. She is sure that we do exist, but sometimes she needs a little reassurance to keep her faith going. She knows that spirit exists, as she is very conscious of her connection to nature and creation. The human myth is that we are separate from spirit. This is the story that we as humans tend to tell ourselves. We must recognize our unity with all else in existence. What a pity to waste so much time denying our own place in the universe. Sometimes our daily reality gets in the way of our being able to feel our connection with spirit. This is when we need to read an inspirational book or do some meditating, or maybe just walk in the woods and feel the connection to everything around us. Remember that all things are connected. Everything that you do affects everything else in the universe. All action and thought set up a vibration that continues long after the event is forgotten. Yes, you do exist. You are connected to spirit and all of creation. Remember that with a single thought, you start a process of creating. Create something wonderful for yourself. All of creation will reap the benefits. Dear fairies, dear fairies sweet, if by chance we soon should meet, it is true that I do leave your realm and come to see. Beat your wings as you retreat, and I will feel the air. I'll know that you do come to greet, and I will meet you there. So be it. Read an inspirational story today. It's pretty magic. I love it. It's just, again, back to that myth, right? It's being human. We have all these expectations and all these thoughts of things that we're supposed to do and things that we're supposed to be. And most of those thoughts come from, first of all, outdated beliefs. Society has changed. We've all changed. And there's still this huge, well, it is what it is, and that's the way it was, and it's the way it was for me, so you can deal with it too. And I don't think that has to be the answer anymore. So as I was shuffling, I did get 2 cards that flew out today. So the second message is Hummingbird Dreams. Number 30. And the key word is the smallest. Even those who seem the least to even those who seem the least to us have their dreams. The tiniest and the weakest have their place in the universe just as we do. They have a special job that only they can do, a place that only they can fill. There is no one being that is more important or more worthy than another, regardless of the form in which they choose to express themselves in life. We marvel at the tiniest hummingbird. How can it move its wings so rapidly that it can hover in one spot and then fly off in a split second? What strength and agility it has. What divine form. It's hard to believe that something so tiny can bring so much wonder and beauty. If you are feeling small and insignificant, remember your uniqueness. The only shoes you have to fill are your own, and they fit you just fine. There are no insignificant people, none who are less whole than another. Eliminate prejudice and judgments, whether cast upon yourself or another. If you feel that someone is not up to your standards, then realize that then realize that is what you are projecting upon them. Change your projection and see them truly as they are, a reflection of God's energy, just as you are. Spirit expresses through us all in its own way. It's not for us to second guess. If you are feeling less than whole, remember your divine birth and take comfort in knowing that you are divinely perfect. Pursue your dreams and know that you are divinely guided. Have faith in your dreams and your abilities. It's okay to have faith in other people's dreams. Help and encourage them to believe in themselves. I am a unique being. There is no other like me. My purpose is my own to fulfill. No one else can do this. Spirit expresses through me in a way that only I can give expression. My gifts to the world are mine alone to give. I am in divine harmony with all life. So be it. Take time to notice the small things today. That's pretty powerful. There was a lot of meaning in that. That 63, the year of my birth. I do feel like a myth at times. And that's the thing. That was the first card to the human myth. But yeah, right. Just remember, we are all magical beings. No one does you quite like you. No one brings the magic that you bring quite like you. We just really need to be aware of how our actions and feelings and thoughts affect others. And yeah, it's I love these cards. Absolutely love these cards. So the Fairy Wisdom Oracle deck, if anyone's interested in cards, but doesn't want to dive into the tarot, or for some reason is nervous of the tarot, oracle cards can be wonderful positive messages to just remind you. And you can just ask. You can tap into that ancestral magic that we all carry with us. You can tap into that, and you can just ask for that message and ask for that message to be revealed to you. And yeah, the more I work with the deck, the more I am mystified. And yeah, so, and of course, as those cards come up, I'm reminded of the ways that I haven't been at my highest self, the ways that I haven't been shining. And sometimes that's difficult. Sometimes that hits and you get that pit, or you get that, and you're like, and it's so easy to, pick up the phone and run to a friend and bitch to a friend and spread that out. It's so easy to, run to cannabis and need a smoke, or to find some sort of outlet. And it's really easy to be bitter and lash out. And so often when that happens, some shame and guilt comes up. And that doesn't fucking serve anyone either. So I've recently been practicing the Ho'oponopono prayer and Ho'oponopono prayer. And I was just coming back to my heart and saying, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And I can say those words to myself. I can say those words to spirit. I can say those words to the people that have caused harm. And I can put that message out there. And they call it spelling for a reason, because we're casting spells with our words. So, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And just remember, you're all fucking magic. I recently wrote a poem. I wrote a poem kind of about getting lost and all of these expectations. So I'm going to share it with you before we close out this morning. Swimming in a sea of expectations, I got lost. Unable to nourish my roots in the tainted waters, I began to wilt. The beauty and love of the sunshine became my enemy. I could feel its warmth burning my entire being. I was desperate for shade. As the storms carried on, clouds of doubt began to roll in. I wept. Under the pressure of your world, I crumbled. It was then that I realized I was planted. Those clouds were my shade, the tears my nourishment, and the shit I was sitting in fertilized my roots. I grew back stronger, continuously observing the societal shit as nourishment. The flowers grew back. The blooms formed bigger and brighter. Everyone came to admire. Desperate for beauty in their own lives, all of the flowers were plucked viciously from the stem. Once again, the sun burned. The clouds of doubt rolled in. Yet this time, the spores of wisdom remained. Thoughts mushroomed into clouds of dust so thick we could barely breathe. Those societal roots began to choke out. I began to pretend that I didn't feel like a delicate flower in a sea of dandelions. The pressures of the world buried me once again. The tears fed and watered my soul. Again, I began to bloom. As the blooms were picked and fell, it was then that I realized I was the delicate, beautiful flower. My seeds are small like dust, but I plant them everywhere. When surrounded by the right environment, I have a special beauty I can share. I am an orchid, here to share my nourishment with the world. We're all orchids. We're all magic. We all have it within us. And we're here to share it. So whatever your magic is, get rid of those expectations, get rid of the judgment, get rid of the fear, and just lean into it. Love it, feel it, lean into it, and embrace it. So, and just let go. And I struggled for years. People would tell me to let go, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm holding on to. I don't even know what I'm letting go. And then when I came to the realization that you can't hold on and expect more to come in. We can't have this within us and expect more to come in. And unfortunately, I learned that experience firsthand in California, and it hurt. It hurt deep. But we put it all back together, right? We have to allow that to let go. So that hurt you feel, that anger you feel, the scorn you feel, that negativity that you feel that constantly replays in our brains, ours. I'm speaking it, but it doesn't mean I don't do it. That comes at a vibration, and it doesn't allow new in. So holding on to those pasts, holding on to those traumas, holding on to that toxicity, we think it defines who we are. It creates these labels, and it makes us these warriors that overcame narcissistic abuse or lupus or whatever happened, whatever it is. But again, when we focus on those labels and we focus on that, we're focusing on that, and and I really think that that's what attributed to my healing journey and putting the lupus into remission. I refused to admit that I was disabled. I wasn't able in the same ways that I was able before, but I refused to admit that I was disabled. And unfortunately, that did hurt me financially in some ways. But mentally, physically, and emotionally, it took me to a completely different level that I didn't even know was possible. And so be cautious of what you identify with as, and just really enjoy the experience, learn, feel, love. And remember to love your bits. Love your broken bits. Love those broken pieces. The cup broke. And that's okay. I'm going to just put it back together. Make it prettier. Make it nicer. Make it stronger. It's okay. It's life, right? It's that myth again. And Mr. Gabor Maté has a wonderful new book out called The Myth of Normal. And we live in a lot of human myths, friends. A lot of human myths. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for feeling. Thank you. And just remember, love yourselves. And that Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. It serves very deep in here. When it comes up that, oh shit, I was the one. That was all me. That was all my fault. That was the way I saw it. That was my wow. That was all me. Apologize to yourself. Love yourself. And having the admittance that we are responsible for allowing people to treat us certain ways. And that we have that power within us to make those changes and to turn that around. So with that, much love. Again, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for just being you. And remember, you're fucking awesome. Awesome. Even if you don't jive with other people, even if you don't fit like a key, even if you don't, you're fucking awesome. Your people are there. They're waiting. Maybe you just haven't let go of enough of the to have them brought into your life. Magic can happen. Magic can happen. So just remember that. It happens. It comes from the work within. So yeah, much love, friends. Thank you again. Much love for joining. And yeah, have a great day.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly. They call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow. And if you want cup power fill, they call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow.